Perfectly right. Of course. And we are your shoutcasters for this game. I am Shinbu with one for an eye. And of course, with me, my partner is Atlas. Again, ladies and gentlemen, what is interesting here is that in this second match, ang maglalaban ngayon ay G1 and Asian. And between these two teams, isa sa kanila ang magiging PGS team kaagad.
Yeah, Ashen Arena or whether it's Ashen Arena or G1, they are going to fight it out. And if whoever wins this is going to instantly become a PGS team.
Yes.
If you go second place, you have to fight it out with a third and fourth place to actually get that PGS slot.
Kung sino yung batalo dito, mga kalaban, yung Empire Esports. And alam mo, mas madali na dumiretso ka ng maging PGS Pro Team kaysa kumalabang ka pa ng isang PGS Pro Team. And knowing Emperor Esports, do take note, they, despite having a sloppy start in the PGS, they made a very interesting run. Naalala mo, nung from the bottom team, diba, sinira nila yung win streak ng Mineski, sunod-sunod yung panalo nila.
Yeah, I think it's because of their macro play.
Yes.
And I think that's something that all of the teams getting into Piltovers finals need to do, especially the last matchup, Infused and Explicit.
Yeah.
Of course, they still have a chance of getting into PGS.
Indeed.
But I think at their current state, if they don't fix their macro play, their decision making, they have no chance.
Yes.
So they really need to fix that.
Actually, reflection din mula dun sa Game 1 natin, a review of our schedule, makikita niya na dun sa unang match natin, it's played between Explicit Esports versus Infused Esports. That's 2-0 by Infused Esports. And so far yung showing nila dun sa game na yon, we still have our reservations. Can they really make a stand against the likes of a team na TNC and Team Manila Eagles, diba? Mula sa PGS mismo natin. And now, again, dito nga sa schedule natin on this second match of G1 versus Asian Arena, I'm really looking forward if itong kakulangan ng macro ng mga teams mula sa Piltovers Finals hindi magre-reflect o hindi ganon ang situation for these top two teams, G1 and Asian Arena.
It's going to be the finals, actually, in this best of three between these two teams, and they have some pretty familiar names here. But of course, actually, G1 is going to sub in their mid laner Swift here, but their other mid laner is actually calculated. He's going to sitting this first game out. Let's look at the bans and picks here. The bans first going to be coming from G1. It's going to be the Fizz. Don't want to deal with that damage in the top lane.
Mala Faker moves no nung panahon na meron silang easy hood.
Yeah.
Hindi mo na pinapasok si Faker. So ganun
the
din si
secret weapon. Because he is, I believe he has been rank 1 challenger for a while.
And siguro sa mga viewers natin, nagtataka po kayo, anong calculated? Di ba AEX
from
yun?
AEX, yes.
Guys, yes, he is on G1.
He is now on G1. Any updates yet on who was the mid laner for AEX now?
For AEX,
We'll know.
There is going to be the team reveal naman sa ating PGS.
But looking at G1, it's going to be Swift, everyone else. They don't want to deal with the junglers. Elise and Ivern really taking away high pressure early game, magic damage junglers here. Elise, of course, one of the queens of the jungle, being able to just clear quickly, get the pressure out with the webs. A very versatile kit. And also on Ivern, very annoying.
Yes.
On the side of Ashen Arena, they don't want to deal with Rumble, the top lane. Very diverse bans here. A top lane, a jungler, and a support ban coming in against G1.
Okay.
So far, it might seem like G1 wants to... let's see their first pick. Actually, the first pick will kind of dictate how the rest of their where their priorities lie. So we have to see what G1's first pick is. But looking how they're banning out, they're really taking away very annoying junglers, and they are first picking the Graves. Very safe, very powerful.
Of course.
It's going to take away the least Ivern, actually. That's very understandable.
Lalo na yung Ivern, kasi Ivern can totally mess up whatever early game capabilities meron ng isang Graves. And
if Graves loses his camps, it's so painful.
The thing about Graves is he's a very consistent jungler despite the lack of early game power or CC.
He does have a lot of counter ganking potential, but yes, Ivern can take away the consistency of so many junglers.
Yes, and
that's how his kit works.
And that's what you'd want from the Graves. Safety mo, yung pagiging consistent mo in terms of farming, can easily clear caps, ganyan. And the thing about Graves is he's a very good duelist in the early game. And he actually translates into a secondary carry for your team pagpasok ng late game.
Seems like the response here from Ashen Arena is going to be their bot lane. Already revealing that information. They are going with very safe options here. The Ashe, loss of utility, does have the damage to pull through the late game with the Lulu to just help him survive against the
Lulu.
The burst of the it's actually useful here against the burst of the Graves. And it seems like G1 will be picking up the Nami, but also the Ahri, actually picking that assassin into the Lulu So they will have to play around the boost of health and shields coming from that champion.
Kahit walang assassin sa isang comp, okay
Lulu,
pa rin ang
yeah,
Lulu.
Lulu is-
Okay,
Lulu
ang
does so
laki pa rin
much.
ng contribution ng Lulu. Siguro, what would be weird for picking up a Lulu is actually if you pair it with an Ezreal, the likes of an Ezreal. Kasi usually, you'd really want to have a Lulu with this kind of hyper carry. Sometimes I'm seeing comps na may Lulu pa rin, kahit Jhin. Yung
Yeah,
pinipili. Kasi
Lulu is so versatile.
versatile talaga. Usually when you pick up Jhin, you pair it with a high damage support as well. And Lulu actually has sizable damage then.
Yeah, the
despite
Glitter Lance in
enchantments.
lane, also Health Picks actually does
For the trades
damage.
then.
And for the trades, the Polymorph actually denies a lot of
Yes.
damage. Seems like Ashen Arena going for more utility here with a mid laner with that Orianna.
Oh,
The
lots of
jungler
shields
is going
now.
to be the Zac. Lots of engage potential for this team. They have already Elastic Slingshot in from their jungler, and then there's going to be enchanted by the Wild Growth, and then you have to follow up with a Shockwave with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. So it's going to be that pickup for them. The side of G1, they're going for a lot of very safe bot lane here.
That's despite, facing an Ahri in the mid lane. I'd say ACA is taking this game accounting for the team fights.
They really want to play around the team fights, just get in there, you get so much value from the CC, and then you can just clean up from there with the damage after more carries.
Pero ang ganda rin ang draft ng G1, no?
Yeah, G1, they're really looking for a safe bot lane, self-sustainable, and they're gonna pick up the Poppy here to just defend their 280 carries.
Yes.
Just let them do the DPS. It's gonna be.
It stops the engage of the Zac. Normally, ang mga Zac ngayon, ang minamax is the Elastic Slingshot. Mitigates
for
a lot
that,
of damage.
The cooldown, the damage as well, the initial damage. Is that the Gangplank? Coming
Nice!
from
Gaganda ng draft
Ashen
dito.
Arena. It's gonna be, because imagine, what ACA might lack here is damage. They have the Ashe, the Orianna, not slacks in damage, but having that GP is gonna make their team fight explosive.
Yes, man.
But that is gonna be against the Poppy. A little bit of a favored matchup, I believe, to just freely farm it out, poke down with Parlay.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be a good pickup here for Ashen Arena.
Napaka-seasoned ng mga pickups na to, ladies and gentlemen. Now, accounting for the drafts, let's start with the bot lane here. This one, we mentioned it's awkward actually so far in picking up an Ezreal into a Lulu. I mean, partnering an Ezreal into a Lulu. Yun lang yung parang, baka meron pang mas magandang ADC for your Lulu, diba? Lulu pickup is always good talaga. Pero baka, you'd
But
want
Ezreal
an ADC.
Nami is very
Pero
solid.
kapag pinaresan mo ng Nami ang Ezreal, that is very strong.
Very strong indeed. The
that
sustain, the safety in the lane.
safety in lane.
And
Not to mention, Nami can actually roam
Yes.
in the mid lane. Okay.
And if he
I
can
don't know. Lulu can roam in the mid lane.
Both of these
Pero-
supports have the capability of roaming.
Between the two, Ezreal can withstand a 2 versus 1 lane.
More
that's lots of
easily.
safety. More easily
So yeah,
compared to an Ashe.
Paruru might need to
What
actually
makes-
be more careful.
What makes it awkward here is that the itemization of Ezreal na usually Ezreal nag-i-start sila with Tear of the Goddess, not a damage item here. But that's where the Nami comes in kasi yung enchantment here ng Tidecaller's Blessing is very rewarding and
Most
invests a lot for the
Ezreals,
Ezreal.
I find they actually do build the Blade of the Ruined King first.
Yeah, yun na nga eh, oo.
Because not having combat stats against very aggressive
Yes,
bot lanes
yes.
is very painful.
Yes.
So they can just they might get Tear of the Goddess if they have the time for it.
I would recommend a Blade of the Ruined King as well.
The Blade of the Ruined King would be the standard pickup here. The Tear of the Goddess, if you have the timing for it, if the matchup allows you to get that Tear of the Goddess, you can get it. But usually the Blade of the Ruined King is much more effective.
You want to contribute early into the fight. League of Legends has accelerated a bit in terms
Very
of
fast-paced.
pacing sa game natin. And with this kind of comps, really, I think it will be an
G1
accelerated game.
If G1 wants to be explosive, get into these mid-game fights with the engage coming from the Nami.
Yes.
So it's going to be very painful coming into it with just the bodyguarding. Pander's just bodyguarding with the Poppy. While the 280 carries plus the Assassin dishing out the DPS is going to be actually very painful. They will want to get these pickoffs, take out people out of position.
Yeah.
While ACA just wants to get a good wombo combo, play off their ultimates, and then just clear them because you have so much damage, especially if the top lane, if GP is able to just scale up.
Yes,
and he can play it out much more safely against the Poppy.
It would be very rewarding for G1 if ever Pandars, this Poppy, play out of his mind. That's one. Kasi ang laking element against ACA yung disruption, yung crowd control. Right now, accounting for the drafts, compared to that game earlier where I usually give the draft on actually yung natalo pang team, which is Explicit Esports. Ito, ang hirap eh. You know?
I think
in terms of scaling though, I must give the scaling to Asian Arena.
Yeah, they do have the GP plus the Ashe, lots of scaling, and they have a lot of potential to just avoid damage and then mitigate everything because of the crowd control they have from their other picks.
And there might be a mistake by G1 of taking a fight. Kasi if you account for Zac and the Graves here, napaka-rewarding early on nung Elastic Sling Shot ni Zac. And maka-counter mo lamang to kung nandito si Pandars, di ba? With that steadfast presence. Pero that requires a teleport. That's the thing. And the thing about Jason here is a Gangplank can fight kahit hindi siya mag-teleport.
Yeah, with the Cannon Barrage, the global ultimate as
contribute.
well. And after Pandars, once Jason gets his Sheen, gets his other components for his Triforce, once Pandars tries to teleport, just pull out the Cannon Barrage. So that's already a lot of contribution, a lot of damage, zoning potential. The slow as well is very useful. On the top lane, the Sheen procs on that turret is going to hurt.
Yes.
So,
it would be very rewarding.
I like
as
the
well.
Gangplank pick.
Oh, the Gangplank pick. It would be very rewarding as well. Oh, tsaka lalo pa if you really want to limit the movement speed or yung pwedeng puntahan dito ng katulad ng isang Ari tsaka ng Ezreal. Do take note, yes, they got the Spirit Rush. But that is an ultimate.
Yes.
Ezreal also has that Essence Shift. So, pero do take note, without those mobility kits, yung right click nila, yung mismong mobility nila, mababa sa totoo lang. So, ang gandang control nun.
Yeah, the Nami does have a little bit of speed boost.
Accounting for the wave clear here, if the Ari falls behind, they would lose on wave clear. That's one. Lots of wave clear actually. Default wave clear falls into the hands as well.
Yeah,
of
so
Asian
many.
Arena.
The barrels, just the barrels is actually a lot of wave clear, and the rest of the Orianna as well is command dissonance and command attack actually, and even protect. It gives him a lot of wave clear.
Yes.
So if it's going to come to a wave clearing game, it's definitely on Asian Arena side.
Arena, yeah, they have default wave clears here. We do know the yun nga, as you mentioned the battle, and not to mention the Ashe as well. You know, once I'm really curious. This falls heavily on different pieces. Kung ano man yung win conditions dito, yung early game setup, yung magiging malaking tanong dito on how the junglers would be able to influence lanes. A teleport play is gonna be very rewarding as well. Pero mas mataas yung pressure ngayon para sa G1 dito.
Yeah, I think G1 really needs to get ahead in the early game.
Yes.
So they can transition to a good mid game.
Yes.
If Ashen Arena survives the early game, they have the Ashe, they have the Gangplank, they have Orianna. If they're able to just survive through that, they'll have a very solid team fighting phase later into the game. But if G1 can get ahead, that means that the Gangplank's just going to cry in team fights. No contribution. The Ashe is just going to get jumped on by the Ahri and destroyed, even with the Lulu shields. If G1 can get ahead, they can punch through all that enchantment.
Rewarding for G1 to actually target this top lane. I think mas dangerous na to target this bot lane. Or maybe the mid lane. Either top lane or mid lane. Kasi bot lane may assurance kasi ni Lulu and you're prone to counter gank by the...
And it would be actually a lot more rewarding to cut off any source of power to the Gangplank. If the Gangplank can scale up, it's going to be very painful.
Yes, for G1.
And just the damage plus crits plus the armor pen, the natural armor pen of the powder kegs as well will just annihilate G1. But if they can target that Gangplank consistently, it's going to deny them a lot of power. The time it takes for Ashen Arena to scale up will be longer.
Yes,
so that gives G1 a lot more room to play around aggressively in the early and mid game.
Accounting for the mid laners as well between the two, we do know that if an Ahri is behind, she's really behind. If an Orianna is behind, all he needs is one core item. You know,
and the shockwave, even without shockwave is so good.
And blue buff, he can consistently farm and get back in this game. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. The match 2, the game 1 of our second match. Between these two teams, G1 and Asian Arena, isa sa kanila, ngayong gabi, ang magiging pinakabago nating pro gaming series professional team. And do take note, that's a very, very big reward at stake for this match. Game 1 sets up a tempo, you know, in match series, lalo pa in a best of 3 series. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the Piltovers finals battle for first seed.
And yeah, and looking at the level 1s, both teams, they're not opting for really ballsy engages that engages into the invades of the jungle. That will require a lot of resources, just saving it up observing it right now. Maybe they're putting down vision on the entrances of the other jungle, but for now, they're really not opting for a level 1 Clown Fiesta.
Yeah. I assume walang budget si Mayor dito, walang pa-fiesta ngayon. So, that's my guess. I'd be assuming na compared to the first match up, this one might be played more methodically.
Yeah, more methodically, definitely. Jason scouting out the blue buff, actually, so that does give a lot of information to Ashen Arena.
Yeah.
That
Yung ganung pick lang na yun.
definitely is going to be XP on that Raptor start. Trying to go for a rotation. Very versatile. Is a very versatile clear path for Graves, and being able to have AoE plus a very nice leash coming from Swift.
Yeah, and you could see na ang ginawa dito ng ACA, they actually shoved the lane, did not heavily leash XD XP dito. Okay, mauna really makapunta si Zayneva for a gank. Mike, I think it could be predicted na ang habol dito ni XDXP is get that level 4 spike. That's
we'll see how he rotates, because this game, I think, even if you say let's target a top lane, I think it's really about that's going to be the early level 2.
Top lane here in the level 2 spike. That's Moraita Boy receiving the Aqua Prison. Did not translate into a kill. Again, the looming threat here actually would be the junglers.
Yes.
I believe they have their eyes set really in the top lane.
Yeah, if they can, it's all about shutting down Jason, so that ACA can't scale up fast enough, and he can't bring out the cannon barrage pressure. But it's all going to be about XD, XP, and Sinavla if they want to actually make that a reality.
Yes,
seems like Swift might be looking for something. I think they do know there's something might be up that both junglers are at the top side.
Yes.
Actually burning that scrying orb there.
So there's a ward. Again, as you mentioned, I think G1 reads this game properly. Pero do take note na itong klaseng rotation ni Pandars na to, removing that ward there on that Tri-Brush, gives a message na may sineset up din si G1 sa top lane.
They have to be able to read that, of course. Jason at this level of the game, he is a little bit behind in terms of wave clear. So XDXP looking for something in the jungle.
Yeah, there we go. So
ACA.
Zaynavla, nakita niya si XDXP doon on his right side jungle. The plan to engage top lane was aborted. Rather, it will be an invade. Ang ginawa dito ngayon ni Zaynavla, after getting his clear, just recall and be efficient with the time.
It seems like both junglers might meet each other here in the top lane.
XDXP would commit.
Yeah, Zaynavla does not have all of his health ready.
Okay, and I think Zaynavla got spotted by that minion there.
Yeah, and actually that ward there coming from XXP not actually going to the brush. So it won't spot out Zaynavla if he goes for that brush. But it seems like both top laners back off, both junglers back off from that top lane. Yes.
But it's a lot of info, really.
Yeah, a lot of info and a lot of time invested
in the top
lane. And you can see that they really want to be able to shut down Jason.
So we are left with this bot lane, and there's actually a relatively low kill potential in this bot lane, despite Moraita Boy still holding on the night. Pero very safe talaga to. Lulu and Nami, Ezreal and Ash. Let's see what would be the next chess game here between the two junglers.
And you can see that in the top lane, of course, Jason in the first 2 or 3 levels of the matchup is gonna be pushed in by that Poppy. But now that he's able to have more points in his spells, level up a little bit.
We missed out a legendary detail here, man. Doran's ring gangplank.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard start, I think. Some
for the CS, no?
CS being able to stay there with the mana, a little bit more sustained with the
they should go for
Skirby.
They should go for your legendary Tear of the Goddess gangplank.
Oh no, that's so bad! Don't trigger me, Shinbu. That is so bad. It's gonna be
another gank here in the bot lane. But the elastic slingshot did not knock off any member of G1 here, and Aru is too low then. Yeah,
but he is fearless. He wants to get at least this final wave before recalling back to. It seems like he's just going to back off here. He has the volley, but might be too dangerous because XDXP is there, man. You tilted me with that Tear of the Goddess gangplank. Oh no, so bad. But it's gonna be Jason picking that Sheen up. That will help him in the trades. Last hitting with a parlay for that extra gold. It will help him with a wave clear as well with the powder kegs. So Pandars, once he actually gets into a fight with Jason, he might have the upper hand. But of course, the corrupting potion will help him survive through the poke in the lane.
Yes, and now another chess game done in the bot lane. Do take note, there's an info na Zaynavla shown himself in the bot lane. Mentioning after that lasting slingshot did not connect. But Paruru did recall. Okay, that leaves us with the support here in the bot lane in kill range, but not gonna get any final hit coming in from G1.
Zaynavla actually does good job there protecting Muraita Boy, trying to get dove there by the two bot laners, but of course that gives a lot of information for XDXP.
And he's on his way.
He's on his way to get those Raptors.
Yeah. And
every bit of every camp that you take away from a Zac actually hurts him from reaching his level 6, getting his more potent ganks, and actually gives XDXP a little bit of a speed boost, getting into his own level 6 spike for lots of damage.
Not just speed boost, ladies and gentlemen. That's a signal that's easily wards na nailagay dito ni
Vision.
XDXP.
Yeah, Vision is the most important here. Let's have the tracker snipe.
And the thing here is that 7 minutes into the game, lalabas na yung second rotation ng jungle camp. Now, if obviously, you know, without the wards, you'd know or you could actually interpolate na nasa isang position or nasa isang part ng jungle map yung kabilang jungler, and that's actually an opening for a play.
And actually,
let's see.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of manipulated because I think Zaynavla. That's unfortunate.
Yes, definitely.
That's unfortunate for Echo. 72-13. 13, unlucky. But yeah, since Zaynavla does have that, because I think Zaynavla did tax a little bit in the bot lane after he ganked. Because you can usually in the early stage of the game count how much CS the jungler has, as well as the timing of his pathing to really it's not even a predict. You know exactly how he pathed around his jungle. But seems now it's just going to be the information blurred because of the CS. We'll see what else.
And there's just an idea that Zaynavla is on the right side jungle.
Yeah, the ping is actually there. Yeah. Spotted out by the ward and actually getting his red buff there.
So as we mentioned, indeed, a macro-oriented game, you know?
Really
very calculated.
Much cleaner than the previous match.
Definitely.
Between Infuse and Explicit. I really like the G1 versus Ashen Arena more.
Walang masyadong nangyayari, pero actually sa rotations pa lang sa mapa natin, it's a chess game na first setup by these two junglers. Again, let's actually read through kung anong setup or what would be the next play here to be done. There's the recall by Zaynavla. It would be intuitive for him to go for the bot side kasi available yung Wolfcamp niya tsaka yung Grump.
Yes.
And there's actually XDXP taking his red side, taking his red buff. So I think he is
just
na
natural.
pupunta si Zaynavla in the bot side lane. But that is a delayed blue buff for Swift. The interesting part about Swift is that he's actually shoving this lane, and that mid lane outer turret is actually bleeding.
Yeah, Swift really wants to push them in. So yeah, so Echo cannot roam down bot. He cannot roam top lane. So what keeping him pressured here. So XDXP has a lot more freedom to make aggressive rotations. But Zaynavla,
here we go. The elastic slingshot forces out the Spirit Rush.
That's actually
receives the command attack. Another Spirit Rush forward. Still the shockwave is being saved here by Echo. I would say he should. But that's a big cooldown. Gone here for the mid laner of G1. Tidal wave here. That's going to be the Aqua Prison onto Paruru na receive niya rin. Yung ultimo ni Layar. But Muraita Boy. Here comes the ultimate from GP on top of the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. XDXP is not in range to land a normal hit. So that actually garners them a control ward in hands of Raksu. Almost a first blood there.
Yeah, almost a first blood. And it's actually not 10 minutes. No first blood yet. Very methodical game indeed. And yeah, it's natural that Zaynavla would rotate down to the bot lane. And G1 should know that because they did spot him out clearing his top lane. I mean, it was XDXP that cleared his top lane jungle. So that means Zaynavla naturally would be there in the bot lane.
Meanwhile, in the top lane,
it's just
Jason is not getting shuttled down.
Yeah, Jason just has a CS lead. It's harder for Poppy to last hit under tower than GP. And now that GP, he's level 7 now, level 8 now, so the barrel countdown is a lot faster. So Pandars will get shoved in because he has the Sheen to trade a lot more favorably. And he has his own sustain as well. There's Muraita Boy. Oh, the burst!
That's how it is done. Not allowing even Muraita Boy to land on top of that Aqua Prison. The burst is there.
Yeah, no wild growth opportunity there. Yeah. Just straight out, just destroy him with CC and damage.
Inside that water ball. So, 15-7, 15-3 on a gold mark here.
Still very close game.
Very close game. I would take note though na again, ang laki nung CS lead dito ni XDX. That's the one. He's winning the rotations against Zaynavla.
Yeah.
Mentioning as well that
Zaynavla trying to look for ganks.
Yeah. On top of that long sword, Warrior's enchantment is complete. XDXP's burst is very sizable. in this early game.
Being able to put out a lot more pressure than the Zac here. Interesting Liar, because I think we did say that.
That's gonna be the gang here in the mid lane. One last flash, and the massive gets proc. So there's gonna be the teleport. Here comes Raksu doing the work against the mid laner of Asian. Raksu gets the kill, support against the mid lane. Jason using the teleport just to save his jungler, which he will be able to do. As that is XDXP's kill, a double kill as he takes on the top laner and also the mid laner. I think that's the jungler as well.
Plus a Drake. That is so not worth. Jason burning teleport to try and save Zenabla was definitely not a play that he should have done. If Pandars was going to teleport mid lane, then he should have just continued shoving down the top lane.
That is indeed a mistake there. Started from the flash.
Yeah, and that actually the Infernal Drake. That was too greedy from Zenabla. Zenabla to
plus the flash in Dini Eiko.
Because that was so close.
That was so close.
But that was not a signal to just go full bonobo and flash in.
That is very punishing for ACA kasi they have to read what was lost during that
Let's look at here. Let's actually gets a nice shockwave, transitioning that into elastic slingshot. Let's bounce actually very nicely placed, but this is where there's just one hit left, but they overcommit. And here comes for the support, which means that that dive did not go well at all. It went like a nightmare for ACA here. They lost so much and gained so little.
Yeah, I want to understand the idea when he actually made that engage.
The Moral Nomicon.
Nabuo niya yung Moral Nomicon. Actually, si Ari pa yung walang Moral Nomicon. But I
opting
think
for
that's
the Sorcerer's Shoes first.
Sorcerer's Shoes first.
To try and avoid more, to be able to get out of the Elastic Slingshot better. Being able to get that little bit, that's going to be the Elastic Slingshot.
Once again, another huge here in the mid lane. A repeat gang indeed.
No Spirit Rush this time.
Wow, the last hit is secured, not needing the flash. In maybe a shutdown on XDXP, but the burst is there. No one to dive under turret as Zenabla's passive is still up. So,
Swift not minding that means that he doesn't have an escape, no flash as well. Means an easy pickup, not able to get out of range of the Elastic Slingshot. It's going to be Jason. Actually, because the Ninja Tabi actually hurts him so much. Until he finishes his Triforce, the Ninja Tabi is going to be super oppressive. And once Pandars actually gets the Sunfire Cape, the pressure will be back on the momentum for the top lane will be back on the Poppy's side. So now Jason might need to drop the next item. It's going to be the Yomu's Ghostblade for him after the Trinity Force.
I'm still really curious about. Okay, it's the passive of the Ari.
Yes.
It's the passive of the Ari. That's why that one last hit.
He just soul steals.
The soul steals. Kasi if you account for the itemization, wala naman tayong magic resistance between these two mid laners, diba? And how the hell did Ari still survive that one? So I think the return damage of that Orb of Deception connecting the passive is still a lot. So still connecting the two targets. Yeah, that's a lot of healths. And ito yung we know that League of Legends is a game of inches, diba? And some fights are determined and some lead are determined by the smallest detail. And our health. And clearly, by that time, Swift escaped that engage below 50 health. But he died actually. But that opened up with Jason getting shotted down, with that teleport, with that greedy teleport.
We've focused so much on the mid lane, jungle, and top lane that we didn't notice Liar actually building that Manamune.
Okay, so
not Blade of the Ruined King. Because I think looking at how the pace of the game went, I think it was appropriate.
Yeah, he has the.
Of course, Blade of Ruined King gives you dueling potential, life steal, sustain in lane. But you have the Nami.
Yes.
And because of how slow the game's pace is going, you do have the opportunity
in the bot lane.
to ramp up the mana.
Yes.
To get that mana ramp coming from Manamune.
So that's still allows him a lot of freedom to actually. Maybe if his, I would suggest he still builds Blade of the Ruined King.
Yeah, the Blade of the Ruined King will be a very good pickup after this.
Ninja Tabi is completed as well, so actually Liar's in a good position right now with a spike once this Manamune gets full stack to Amura mana.
And the Ninja Tabi, definitely very standard build for a lot of champions, even AD carries. Genja was right. Like 3 years ago, Gambit Genja, 3 to 4 years, Gambit Genja said, AD carries will be building Ninja Tabi, and now it's come true.
Oh man. I miss their top laner. The one whose strategy is fit to win.
But going back into G1 and ACA, it doesn't seem like it's feed to win here. It's
even in LoL, really, it's not anymore feed to win.
Yeah. It's just going to be Triforce completed for Jason, actually. A huge spike for him. even with the Ninja Tabi coming from Pandars, the armor penetration coming from... Ooh, this gonna be good offense. Yeah. Just showing himself for a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, for the pressure kasi, you know, patapos na rin yung minion and definitely masashove na rin yung mid lane na yun. Okay.
I think Swift either wants to make a rotation or recall back to the lane, but it seems like they will want to go on Jason
They
here.
know. My guess is they know.
Yeah.
With this kind of positioning, ang pinapaharap mo is yung Ezreal. Especially the way he orb-war. There's the flash and lots of stuff being burned. But there is the peel and the power of the Nami's Tidal Wave.
It's going to be canceling that gank.
Yeah.
We'll see if XP can actually trade that to something. No, just going to clear his own wave here. Scary. If Jason ever finds XP alone, there's going to be easy pickings for that Gangplank, but it seems like just finds him with a Scrying Orb, which gives a lot of information for ACA, which means they will want to go for a repeat gank now without the flash.
Yes, lots of pressure here.
So they are going to go on that.
Used by Nabla, but that is actually an awkward positioning. The Ash, Paruru, not on the same page here. He actually turned back. Okay, after that engaged by Nabla.
So no jungle pressure means Swift can just easily push this turret down. With XP, it's going to be a dive.
Oh, forcing the flash away. No mana on Echo here.
That's going to be the first turret of the game.
Falls into the hands of G1. Wala si. Yep.
Oh, okay. Almost. But yeah, now that the Bombi Cinder plus the Ninja Tabi has been completed, Jason is going to have a lot harder time, even with the natural armor penetration of the Powder Keg. Really, this top lane matchup against tanks with Gangplanks like a mountain range. You have phases where you early you're weak, and then you spike up and Sheen, and then you go down again once they build their Tabi and their tanky items. Can't fight back against the Bombi Cinder.
So, and take note na yung kinakalaban yung Poppy kasi meron din ano yun, Infernal Drake.
There's a little teens a bit of more damage.
The thing about Poppy, despite having low damage in terms of per skill, per se, yung frequency ng skill niya.
Yeah, plus being able to just stay in there, lots of resistances. With that Sunfire Cape now completed means that Jason really needs to build that Yomu's Ghostblade next.
Yeah, shield from the buckler as well. So, again, it's still a slow-paced game and actually anybody's game. But right now, it cannot be denied yung nakuhang lead kanina ng G1. So, getting multiple kills papunta sa isang Infernal Drake.
But now Jason has 500 Silver Serpents, so that means he is going to upgrade his Cannon Barrage. We'll see how in the next team fight it's going to happen, probably around this Ocean Drake if it gets contested. Seems like way too fast coming from G1, so will not be contested, not really a super high priority Drake. But with the pace that the game is going, slow-paced, yes. Maybe it might actually be more favorable to Ashen Arena.
If you want to go for a re-engage, that's one. That is rewarding an Ocean Drake. Not just the siege, hindi lang naman siege yung nabibigay talaga ng Ocean Drake.
It's a regeneration.
The off-combat regeneration. That works really well.
Pero looking at how the game is pacing right now, ACA has a little bit of free time to scale up. The Gangplank, the Ashe, the Orianna. She has a lot of utility, Orianna, but later in the game, the damage cannot be denied. So the more that the game goes slower, the more Ashen Arena can scale up, the more that Swift actually misses opportunities to do these assassinations.
Ashen Arena can actually just drag this and still get back in this game, despite that Infernal.
But of course, G1 has that double AD carry, the other who had the opportunity to build Manamune in lane safely.
What is the damage of Peru against the likes of Pandars? How can they withstand that? Again,
solid front line.
And that's not XDXP. Again, the damage from XDXP, mukhang, di lang mukhang, talaga magiging masakit to. So, nila Jason
really itemizing to gank the mid lane here, having that Hex Drinker to survive if he gets caught with a shock.
And they're listening to you, actually accounting for the damage ng isang Orianna. Really trying to delay her as much as possible, but because the ops to put Jason behind, I think
he's really ganking the mid lane.
So go for the mid lane.
The bot lane is the focus here
for Crystal Arrow gets the knock off. The ultimate is there, but the Tidal Wave gets used to mitigate and Peel against the members of ACA. The chase is on. There's still the cooldown available for the SHG, so it's time for Liar to actually kite. There's the sustain from the Tidecrawlers, no, rather from the Ebb and Flow here, but Draxu is already gone. It's a 3v2 wonder by Ashen Arena.
That's going to be a 1 kill onto Ashen Arena, but of course that's a lot of resources used. They lost another turret. So it seems like Jason might be in a little bit of trouble with no backup.
It's like a sampler of the late game power here.
Jason is going to try and execute
here is going to be running for his life. Pandars on the chase. Can he?
An execution.
Execution, yes.
And plus a little bit of farm on the sideline as well. Just get that parlay, but it's gonna be the top
go
lane.
teleport. Here comes the Poppy, knowing na walang teleport na magaganap. But there is Parulu not reaching for the turret, still willing to take the trade. And this Asian girl will fall into the hands of G1. Kasama rin isa pang Asian girl here, Lulu. The bottom duo of Asian Arena, gone. Nice setup there by Pandars.
It's gonna be Paruru taken down with that teleport. Yeah, knowing even though Jason, yeah, it's a teleport.
Yeah.
Quote unquote free recall. But that is a lot of time lost in the top lane. This turret gonna go down. Plus Pandars had opportunity to teleport bot lane.
And clearly this is something being won by G1.
Yeah, the G1, even though with a slow start, they weren't able to really snowball, but they did play it enough coming into 21 minutes in the game for them to actually just pounce at ACA the opportune time and then take away a lot of objectives. It's going to be all the outer rim turrets of Ashen Arena gone, with G1 taking a lot of gold. That's a 6k gold lead now spread out throughout the team. Yeah. And that's actually pretty huge.
So not gonna go for that Blade of the Ruined King. Very standard build here. Gonna go for the Trinity Force.
Trinity Force instead.
Yeah. But wait,
yeah.
I think that's an extra sapphire this time.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe.
Stinger.
Yeah, no, Stinger, yes.
The Stinger build.
No, Stinger, no. Stinger is 2 daggers.
2 daggers, right?
Yeah, he did sell that extra mana crystal.
Okay, so
gonna go for a null magic mantle. Not actually about to X-Drinker, question mark, but
QSS for the enchanted crystal.
Oh, right, yes,
he still has the luxury for that anyway. So here comes the tidal wave. Just stops the siege here by Asian Arena again.
So QSS builds out of null magic mantle nga pala, but yeah, that's gonna be the siege stop from ACA. I don't think Jason still has his power spike of all of his items. Still has to scale up with a parlay extra gold. On the other hand, Paruru, that one death really hurt him, but now that he has both Runans and Bork, it should be a little bit easier in the team fighting phase.
He actually got his outer turret.
But that's a lot. Yeah, but it is a lot of gold onto the side of G1. The gold lead is undeniable. 6k plus 2 Drakes is huge.
So, Mini set it up here by XP. Right now, ang layo ng contribution ngayon ng Graves na jungler dito mismo ng G1 compared to the Zac here.
Yeah, the Zac has not been able to really... I mean, yes, a lot of mid lane ganks, a lot of bot lane ganks, but a lot of those bot lane ganks didn't end well. Yes, there was pressure, but really nothing was gained from that.
Yeah,
Paruru and Moraita Boy still had a hard time in that bot lane, even with the pressure coming from Zinabla. I think that Zinabla really should have camped that top lane, because I think with the combined percent health damage of the unstable matter plus the sheer damage on armor penetration come from the powder keg, I think it would be very favorable for ACA to camp that top lane.
And you snowballed the Gangplank.
Gangplank, but it seems like Gangplank, both teams now have a much, ACA has a much slower scale up time now. Seems like Jason. That's the worst feeling.
Yes, when
as
you're
a Gangplank. When your barrel
babarilin
is
mo na
denied.
ipaparlay mo na yung barrel mo, tapos auto-attack yung last last life part.
But really is good on Pandars to actually get the timing for those countdowns, because he is level 13 now, so that's the fastest you can go with the barrel countdowns, which means that you have to be way quicker on the draw to actually take out the barrel. And really, Pandars doing a great job avoiding the damage here.
Sidestep here, ultimate as well on Zinabla. Get out of here. There's that. Again, a consistency. It's just going to be a farm game for Jason. This Gangplank would be rewarding in stopping the push of G1. But the problem there is the botting objectives will all be available for G1. Another Drake in their hands.
It's a Cloud Drake. 3 out of 4 elements here completed for G1. No Avatar Drake.
Yeah.
The Elder Drake just has going to be at around
36.
Later in the game, 36 minutes.
And, again, 24-minute mark. Baron is also available. A botting objective again.
And with the sustain from the Nami, Raksu can just sustain his team up. He has 280 carries with pretty decent damage. Just be able to get that.
Not a Trinity Force.
It's gonna be the Iceborne Gauntlet here.
Gauntlet. Okay.
Pretty blue build coming from Liar here.
That's the thing. I'm really curious because there's an update on Iceborne Gauntlet. We know that, diba? It actually has this some form of scaling when it comes to the armor.
Yeah, you get more, but it's more on the size of it. I think he really just wants to be able to kite it out.
Yeah.
Prevent, say, Jason and Paruru from really reaching him and his team.
So
maybe
this might you'd want. Still, Trinity Force is better
Yeah,
here. But siguro, dahil you'd want to get that quick spike kasi na-delay ka ng QSS. Pero yung endgame build mo parang, di ba?
But it's really doing a lot of work here.
Yeah, Muramana is full
the
stacks
Muramana
kasi.
already doing a lot of damage, but that's going to be both teams dancing around the vision here at the top side. They both want that turret and that Baron. Definitely going to be the turret game here with just Paruru. It might be dangerous for him.
Dito yung cash ng G1 yung reward nila of putting Eiko behind. Kasi what would turn things around here for this siege by G1 is an epic shockwave, multiple target shockwave.
Into like the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, into lots of crowd control, into like cannon barrage damage. Thunderlords as well will do a lot of work. But yeah, coming into the split push in the bot lane from both top laners, they both have TP, so they both have that available. But I do think Jason can just repel all of the waves repeatedly with their Powder Kegs. But if it comes to a teleport, right now Pandars will have a lot more impact. He does have this Youmu's for a lot of armor penetration combined with a Powder Keg's natural armor reduction, or rather armor penetration, but it's going to be a reset here as both teams just opting to lay down the vision.
Let's
and
see,
then
ladies
deny
and
the vision.
gentlemen. It cannot be denied ang taas ng lead dito ng G1. And what makes a professional team, parang pagiging KJS team ka rin talaga, is closing games. You do know that, diba?
Yes.
There are actually a lot of teams. A seasoned team knows how to close games.
Oh, that's gonna be...
knows the change, what happens if ever meron ka nakuha early lead here. Eiko now being put in field range, now being put in the afterlife as XXP secured the kill on that one. That's gonna be a double kill, maybe a triple kill on this one as the Zac is put on his passive rock. Spander securing that final kill, and it's a killing spree instantly. There's gonna be a call
for the
Baron or a rotation in the top lane. Let's see as G1 is dominating this map.
Yeah, that was such an awkward position there. Zenabla, pants too jittery, so he went in for that elastic slingshot, but that left Eiko open. Eiko actually cleansed late, so that means that that's definitely going to be a cleanup coming from the damage of XDXP and the rest of G1. Gives them, no doubt, the Baron buff. And even with a Karen Barrage, the Smite will just beat that up. No contest. So it's going to be very hard. Look, because of how the Baron buff works, it's going to be much harder for Jason to clear these waves.
Now, you have a siege comp na with the Baron buff. Kasama pa yung Ocean Drake. Let's see what happened to the
Eiko. Moraita Boy was too late there. Zenabla, not there as the front line. Trying to engage too hard, which opened them up to Swift and XDXP's damage. And then Pandars teleporting there, just for more frontline potential coming from G1. So definitely, it was a positional mistake from ACA that cost them the Baron. This might actually cost them more than the Baron.
Yeah, that's going to be a 9k gold lead there.
Yeah, 9k gold lead. Plus,
G1.
That's going to be, of course, G1 is going to use that to great potential. They have 280 carries, sizable wave clear, a good front line. They have the potential for a very good siege.
Let's see. Let's see how they can come back. Kasi talaga, ang tight nung ngayon, nung nagiging win conditions dito for ACA. We're still giving the late game onto ACA, but not like this, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a snowballing early game in favor of G1.
And the more that they give away these kills,
it's gonna be so bad for Paruru if ever XDXP Relentless Pursuits in that blue side jungle. Now they lose the red side, they're losing the blue side as well. This opens up for inner turrets to be destroyed by G1.
And yeah, they are poised to take that. They have Baron buff. Even the barrels will not be completely enough to take out these waves.
Yeah, you can only barrel one lane. That's the thing, you can only protect one
Plus, we say that ACA has really good scaling, but G1, if they get the lead, they can really transition well. They have the Ezreal for lots of poke, lots of potential to take down these turrets. They have another 80 carry, which will be XDXP on the Grave, taking down these turrets so quickly, just extending the gold lead further. It's going to be 10k now. So it's going to be much harder for ACA to try and scale up.
You need to get that game-changing combo. What I really don't like about the game is iba kasi talaga siyang jungler. It's about scaling and oh my god, that charm and the full-on combo. Sadly, it's Raxu who gets the kill, but nonetheless, that allows your team to stomp on the doors.
Yeah.
Nitong ACA.
No shockwave, no nothing. Seems like G1 is gonna nail down each nail in the coffin of ACA here, taking out the inhibitors one by one.
Just in time, nakarating na rin dito.
Minion
yung
wave.
Minion waves papunta sa mid-lane into the turret. Ng ACA, it's time to go for the signal, and Paruru gets bursted. Unang tinginan lamang ni Swift.
No need for the charm to connect either. And that's going to be 3 inhibitors down for ACA. This is going to be way too hard to actually defend against. Jason not able to really put out the impact in the later in the game that Gangplank should be able to bring. Seems like G1 will just finish this game by the books methodically without trying to take away the skills. Just take down the turret.
Very, I'd say clean game as well from G1. It's not just a clean game, ladies and gentlemen. It is actually, I know, very convincing kasi ACA played this one not out of mistakes, no? Hindi naman ganun karami yung mistakes ng ACA dito. It's just really G1 had the better rotation.
Every single detail of how the rotations went, how their macro play went, affected how the rest of the game went. So that means that, yes, ACA has good scaling, but that scaling was completely prevented with the rotations while taking away objectives and getting the sieges just choke them out slowly. And then once they got that really bad positioning from Eiko, insta-gib, so that's going to be 3 deaths. Transition that onto the Baron, and they just took it away from there methodically. They didn't force it too hard, but they just let nature take its course. With a Baron buff, just choke them out, and then that 6k gold lead. It's first a 2k gold lead. After those turrets, 6k gold lead. After that Baron, 10k gold lead. Just continue going on there.
We can emphasize here makikita nyo yung damage dealt to champions na ang laki nung kayang i-contribute talaga ng Gangplank in terms of damage there.
But without the follow-up from the rest of the team, if the rest of the team is behind.
Not to mention, there's a very good prerogative mula sa G1 talaga. We were thinking maybe they'd want to shut down the Gangplank, pero they might be saying na, hindi, bahala na si Poppy dyan. Okay lang naman eh. Sige, pascaling natin. Let's put someone behind, yung mas madali ipa-behind. And they went for Eiko, the mid laner.
And Eiko, once those bad positioning was taken advantage of, just took out the rest of the game. Even with the high damage coming from Jason's Gangplank, against an organized team, you cannot 1v5 as Gangplank.
These are my thoughts. Maybe it could have been a different story if Zaynabla focused in the mid lane and foiled this
and mid lane and then top lane. Because bot lane, he invested so much time there.
Yes, bot lane.
And to no avail. That was too safe.
The itemizations ng Ezreal, there's actually an early pickup of Tear of the Goddess pa nga, first item. So hindi talaga ganun ka-threatening yung damage nung Ezreal early on, diba?
So don't need to pressure too much. Just let nature take its course in the bot lane.
I would even suggest bring the bot lane in the mid lane. You know, take the fight early on in the mid lane kasi you got a shockwave, huh? You got a shockwave early. You got an enchanted arrow. That could be nice.
That could have been one of the possibilities.
Not killing the Ahri, not killing Swift, but rather XD-XP. XD-XP.
If they shut down XD-XP.
Has been a very big force from the side of G1.
But I also think top lane would have been another focus. But bot lane, focusing too much on bot lane would have been the least optimal choice for Ashen Arena.
The 3 choices, no? Here by Zaynabla. So maybe that's one element that the Asian Arena could work on.
But and very clean early game from both teams.
Yes, it's a very good
They just need to transition. Ashen Arena just needs to transition well and not be out of position, not be baited, and because every single detail matters in a very close skill game.
And that's a caliber of a team or a game deserving kung sino man yung mananalo na maging PGS Pro team. So I'm really looking forward for this game too. I'm really looking forward for this game through. I could put my cards in that we might proceed to a game 3 if ACA gets this one properly. Really good showing from these two teams. Congratulations for G1. Okay, they're set. If they take another victory, that should be game set na sila. They could be our next pro team. Baka i-reveal pa nila si calculated sa game 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Secret weapon, Carl.
We'll know, ladies and gentlemen. That has been a nice game. Very intense, really. Thank you so much for that. We have been your shoutcasters for this game. I am Shinbu with a 1, 4, and I. And of course, my partner is Atlas here. Thanks so much for your insights. Guys, we still have our game 2 in this second match. Best of 3 series. Again, whoever wins becomes a PGS Pro team. And that's going to be the Piltovers finals, and we'll be back for the next game. And Bill against the members of ACA. The case is on. There's still the cooldown available for the SOC, so it's time for Lion to actually fight. There's the sustain from the Cyclers, and rather from the Evan Blow here, but Drops is already gone. So the telephone na magaganap, but there is Paruru not reaching the turn. Still suffering this condition there. So now, people is doing now we put in the afterlife as and the double kill, maybe a triple kill on this one as the Zack is put on his classic block. Fantasy during the final kill.
Connect either. And that's a degree inhibitor down for ACA. This is going to be way too hard to actually defend against. Jason not able to win without the impact of the laser game that Jackline should be able to use like by the book, methodically, without trying to handle the skills to take down the turret.
From one it's not just a gentlemen, it is actually I know ang ganda very convincing kasi ACA played this one not out